Hey y'all, it's Laura here. I'm out on a run and I just saw something that drives me bananas as a gardener. So I want to share a little tip and a little bit of a rant about how to properly mulch trees for their longevity and for their health. This is a magnificent, gorgeous, huge tree. And at its base, you'll see this tiny, weeny little donut of mulch. You'll also notice that the tree pretty much looks like a telephone pole. You could barely see the root flare. Now there's something that's really important that happens here at the root flare. And what I want to see is I want to see a little bit more of the angle here at the base. And you want that because there's a really important oxygen and carbon dioxide transfer that happens at that base. Now you could go through your entire life with, one nostril taped shut, but how good of a life is that going to be? So number one, I would pull this mulch considerably back. I would also have the mulch spread out over that entire area. And the reason why is this is not really doing you any good. The roots that are growing at this place are just stabilizers. They're not feeding anything into the tree. There may be 0.1% of tiny little roots that have grown in that spot that are feeding that tree, but that's not where the food happens. Where that is at the drip line. So where the tree extends, that zone right there, that is the feeding zone. So if you're mulching, obviously there's a lawn here, so I wouldn't put mulch on top of that. But I would absolutely apply natural fertilizers. I would be using a mulching mower so that that grass breaks down and provides food. But this is the zone of feeding, all right out here. That does nothing and is a waste. And the reason why people do that is because they've seen landscapers do it. And landscapers do it because they've seen other landscapers do it. So let's be a little bit smarter. Let's not waste our time and energy. If you're just wanting to cover up the mud, that's fine, but cover up the mud. So that's a little tip, and happy gardening. So this is a good example of what I'm talking about exposing the root flare. So you can see it's making that gorgeous angle, and all here at the base is where an important oxygen and carbon dioxide transfer is happening. And the other thing that I really like is that they've been really smart about this bed. And see how far that mulch extends? All the way, all the way. So a lot of these feeding roots, the feeder roots, are getting taken care of with the beneficial mulch. And I'm assuming that this lawn here is most likely getting some fertilizer, but the leaves are being left, the clippings are being left. All of that is in service of this tree, and it's incredibly healthy. Look at that gorgeous canopy. So that's an example of what you're looking for. It's a small detail, but it's an important one. So there is an exception to the donut rule, even though I was very, very adamant that you never do that. The difference would be if you have a new tree that you're planting, such as this oak. So this is a small tree, and even though the drip line extends beyond the planter box, the roots do not. So what you would do in this situation is not put mulch, they've got it piled up here because of the rain, not put mulch up against the trunk here, but maybe start a hand span and come out. And you would do that so that you could protect the integrity of this root ball. So the mulch is going to not only retain moisture that a new tree is going to need, but it is also going to slowly break down and provide nutrients to those roots as they grow and expand. So this is the one exception to the donut rule. Thanks and happy gardening.